Amelia's Uber arrived at the Gables Golf Club and her breath hitched at the sight of the opulent venue. It was an exclusive, members-only country club with expansive manicured lawns, marble fountains, and patrons dressed in quiet luxury as they sipped champagne beneath umbrellas. She had heard lots about this place as her father, the mayor, visited the club from time to schmooze and rub elbows with the wealthy voters of the city. Amelia had Ubered here to save herself the headache of an exorbitant valet fee. But this meant she was now left carrying the bags of food she prepped for dinner she was going to make Thomas later. She breathed a sigh of relief when the hostess offered to store them in the kitchen. When Amelia entered the dining room, she was again struck by the display of wealth and decadence in the space. Places like this weren't just about money. They symbolized exclusivity and power, which led her to wonder if Thomas picked this place to try and impress her. How can Thomas afford to bring me here on a school teacher's salary? Did he call in a favor to get us here? The membership alone costs more than most college tuition. Between Thomas's fancy sports car and this club, his profession didn't seem to line up with his lifestyle. Speaking of Thomas, where was he? Her phone wasn't getting any reception, so she couldn't text that she was here. Flustered, she approached the hostess and hoped Thomas had already checked in with her. Hi, good morning. Could you help me? I'm here to meet a friend, but this place is so big, I don't even know where to start. The hostess placed a hand to her chest with practiced warmth and grace. I'm happy to help you with that. How about we start with his name? Oh, right. His name is Thomas? It was then that Amelia realized she didn't know Thomas's last name. Sorry, I don't know his last name, but he's tall, my age, with sandy brown hair. The hostess's smile widened knowingly. Thomas, you must be Mr. Flores's guest? How wonderful. We love Mr. Flores. Amelia's brow furrowed. Mr. Flores? How could they be talking about the same Thomas? Just then, the hostess gestured toward a figure across the room. There's Mr. Thomas Flores, one of our most esteemed members. Amelia parroted the name, muttering to herself. Mr. Thomas Flores? It's probably not the same Thomas. But when she followed the hostess's gaze, sure enough, seated coolly on the terrace was the very same Thomas she knew. He wore a tailored navy blazer over a crisp white shirt paired with polished brown leather shoes. A Rolex gleamed subtly on his wrist as he sipped his glass of orange juice. It was an understated outfit, yet he managed to stand out, looking youthful and effortlessly commanding in the center of the restaurant. Thomas's face lit up when he spotted Amelia, and he wasted no time in leaving his table to cross the room to greet her. He glanced down at her outfit and teased. All white again. Are you subconsciously trying to tell me something about your intentions? She playfully slapped his shoulder, and he laughed. Amelia gestured for them to return to his table. You got a good table. We should go back before someone takes it. I saw a wait list outside. Thomas grinned, amused by her naivete. Not to brag, but I could go home, take a nap, sit in traffic on the way back, and by the time I return, my table will still be saved for me. Not to brag, huh? Not bragging, just easing your mind, he replied with a wink and clasped her petite hand in his, as if it were the most natural thing to do. He led her to his table with confident strides, proud to have her by his side, and glanced back to really take in the sight of her. You look even prettier in the daylight, by the way. The white suits you. When they reached the table, Thomas pulled out her chair like a practiced gentleman and looked at her intently. What do you feel like eating? She glanced around, then whispered, Where's the menu? Poking fun at her, Thomas whispered back, You can just order whatever you want and they'll usually make it. Was he joking? It made her nervous to order anything here before seeing the price first. Even though Thomas was treating, she didn't want to bankrupt him over a Denver omelet. Is there really no menu? I feel overwhelmed choosing without a guide, she said cautiously. Thomas flagged down a waiter for a menu. And when Amelia looked inside, as expected, the prices were astronomical. A simple English breakfast cost a whole week's pay. Sensing her anxiety, Thomas gently closed the menu. I have a better idea. Let me order and surprise you. She leaned in and raised an eyebrow. Did you remember to bring your wallet this time? He chuckled, amused by her skepticism, and slipped his wallet out of his pocket before tapping it on her forehead as proof. Good job. She patted his head. He called the waiter by name and confidently requested, just 2 of the usual, which left Amelia burning with curiosity. When the food arrived, her jaw dropped at the sheer abundance. Delicate pastries, fresh-cut fruit arranged like art, every type of breakfast egg, crispy bacon, and freshly baked bread. It was easily the best-tasting breakfast she'd ever had. And just like their first date, the conversation between them was effortless and easy. Amelia was already on her 3rd cup of coffee when Thomas tilted his head curiously. Am I boring you? He teased. Amelia shook her head quickly. Not at all. I just woke up extra early today, actually to prepare a thank you dinner for you. His eyebrows lifted in surprise. A dinner? For me? She nodded, smiling. I'm an idiot. I just realized that in all the planning and excitement, I never actually told you to keep your evening free for dinner tonight. Even if I weren't free, I'd clear my schedule. Does this mean I'll get to meet my 5-year-old love rival for your heart? Not yet, Amelia said with a slight smile. But you'll meet his godmother, Faith, my best friend. I'm taking you to her apartment so I can borrow her kitchen. Though now I worry my dinner will pale in comparison to this breakfast. Thomas shook his head. A dinner by you? Not possible. Unable to hold back her curiosity for much longer, Amelia finally decided to ask the question that had been burning in her mind since she stepped foot in this country club. She leaned in and studied his face, narrowing her eyes as she asked, So, Thomas, when are you going to tell me who you really are? He smirked, his confidence unshaken. I don't strike you as the divorced teacher type. No, that much I've already figured out, she interrupted. Why don't you match the description my grandmother gave me? Thomas wondered if she was going to get mad once he came clean. Not that he was going to tell the whole truth. Your original blind date was a buddy of mine, Thomas explained. He decided to go back with his ex and asked me to go tell you. But when I saw you, his smirk widened. I decided to step in and take the date for myself. In reality, Pablo's guys had intercepted and paid off Amelia's original blind date. But she had no way of knowing that. So you're a thief and an impostor, she said, tilting her head cheekily. But still doesn't answer my question. Who are you, and why did the Council of Foreign Affairs listen to you? Thomas handed her his business card. Thomas Flores. My family owns Flortec, Spain's leading textile manufacturer. I do work for them, but I was able to get your job back because my brother is Pablo Flores, Spain's first deputy prime minister of finance. Wait, your brother is Pablo Flores? She said, incredulous. Thomas confirmed with a subtle nod. Amelia's mind buzzed, piercing together the implications. She recognized the name Pablo Flores as one of the Spanish political figures that Javier was often lumped into news reports with. She had come across him back when she was researching to learn more about Javier's country and career. She suddenly thought to herself, looks like that patronizing lecture Javier gave me about dating standards was irrelevant. I'd like to see him try and call my date a loser once he learns he's the heir to a Spanish textile empire and brother to Javier's political colleague. She suddenly stopped herself. No, focus on your date, Amelia. Don't let Javier get in your head. Their conversation was suddenly interrupted by an unusual sight. Secret Service agents combing the area. Amelia wondered what was happening. Tomas remained unfazed. Ugh, what an irritant of the peace. That's the security detail for Prince Javier Calderón, Tomas remarked, and Amelia tried to look casual as she nodded. Think of the devil and he appears, she thought. Her eyes darted around, searching for Javier. Why would he show up here? And why today of all days? It was an annoying distraction. Tomas studied Amelia's face. So, do you forgive me for stealing the blind date? I want to make sure you're not mad at me before I take you to the golf course and put a 9-iron in your hands. Amelia quirked a brow at him. Only one way to find out. Why don't we go grab some clubs and let's see if I swing mine at the ball or at your head. Out on the golf course, Amelia tried not to get distracted, but her mind raced with questions. Am I going to bump into Javier out here? And will he pretend not to know me, or will he say hello? Tomas proved to be a charming golf partner. He helped her adjust her grip on the club and teased her mercilessly for her newbie mistakes. She found herself laughing, momentarily forgetting all about the prince's presence here. Just then, Amelia finally spotted the prince arrive in a golf cart with Mr. Nakamo, Japan's consul general. Tomas stepped closer to her, lowering his voice in a playful tone. That man right there. Everyone's probably falling over themselves to make sure he wins. I doubt he's even good at golfing. But when you're Prince Charming, people let you win just to stay on your good side. His envy was thinly veiled. Amelia grinned politely, afraid to give away how intimately she knows the prince. Tomas continued, his tone turning sharper. Meanwhile, politicians like my brother are old, balding, and spend their lives breaking their backs to get to where they are today. Amelia felt the strange urge to defend the father of her child. I don't know, isn't Prince Javier a highly decorated soldier with Spain's elite forces? I heard just last week he risked his life to save a child from a bomb. Tomas shot her a look of mock judgment. Oh, I didn't realize I was on a date with the president of the Javier Calderón fan club. Amelia rolled her eyes. I just keep up on international politics. It's important for my job. But back to your brother's baldness. Is it genetic? She joked, ruffling Thomas's thick hair. She then took her turn, but the club barely grazed the ball, sending it wobbling a few feet before coming to a pitiful stop. Tomas cackled, leaning on his club for support. Amelia narrowed her eyes. Oh, careful, Flores. Keep mocking me, and I might aim for you next time. Oh, have you seen you aim? That's not much of a threat. He shot back, and Amelia nudged him. Little did she know their playful touches and light-hearted banter had just caught the attention of the before-mentioned Prince Javier Calderón. To find out what happens next, download the Pocket FM app in the next minute to get free access to all episodes of The Royal Accident for free.